Here we go. Let's kind of get comfortable. Oh no, I don't know if this is the right angle. I know this is the right place I want it to be in so I could sit. I have my phone with me, and it kind of will help me on what I want to talk about. So first of all, I'm in my robe, I'm in my chair in my office because I want it to be as comfortable as possible when I do this video. And then I also want it to be in the element of the moment as I bring it to you. So here goes. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your girl Syn, and this is Life with Syn. And in today's video, we are going to talk about 2024 recap briefly, as well as my plans for 2025, and then how I'm looking at my vision board, or per se, and we'll get into the deep dive of that. So, I have my phone in front of me, so if you see me looking down, it's because I have things jot down in my phone. And then you hear Kitty in the background. So, in 2024, I went through a rather depressive state. During the month of January to about mid-July, I was dealing with some personal issues, and a lot of them was hidden behind survival mode versus me like recognizing them. I did get diagnosed with depression years ago. I've had depression. I've had seasonal depression. I do go to therapy. I've mentioned it before here that I'm in therapy. I've been in therapy for many, many years, and I've been with the same therapist since 2015 in Nashville. The end of 2015, beginning. Yeah. So I've been with her for a very long time. She's always been my therapist. Before her, I did have a therapist. And when I went to that therapist, what made me switch, because not all therapists are going to be for you. You just have to kind of like move around, find the right therapist. I feel like you just have to find the right therapist that suits you, that fits you, that is the person for you. The first therapist I went to, that first session, and I shared what I had to share, and I'm not going to go into detail here. I got the sense of judgment from her, and I didn't like it, because in therapy, my thoughts are that I'm here sharing these things with you. I'm letting you know that, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm going through. These are the areas of my life that I'm currently in. I was getting ready to approach 40, and I really wanted to deep dive and talk about a lot of things that I was getting ready to transition in my life, and how becoming 40 scared me. So, fast forward, I have my therapist, and I've been with her since 2015. I love her. She's amazing. She has helped me achieve so much. And then last year, and on the top of my house having the fire, I didn't grieve that properly. A lot of people grieve differently, and I didn't grieve that loss properly. What I did was I went into action mode, and in action mode, I actually went into fix it mode, because in my personality, I'm a type A personality, and my need for control and structure and order kicked in right away. So when it happened, I just went through the motion and the process. I went through the contacting the insurance company like I was supposed to. I got swarmed with contractors and people coming out and, having the insurance come out and do all these things. And then we had to move into an apartment, and they were telling me that it would take about 4 months, and it ended up taking almost a year for me to get back into my house. We were at the point where we're supposed to move into our house in April. Then they had a change in management and companies merged. And so a lot of things fell behind, and my house was one of them. They ripped my house apart in February of 2024. We did not move in our house until November, right before Thanksgiving. And it just was like I was going. 2023, sorry, not 2024. We moved back in 2023, November, because we had Thanksgiving here in 2023. And so we were already in the house. So last year, I don't know what it was, but I had so much going on. Plus I was dealing with a lot at work. And I think work was the precipice that broke it all for me, because the depression took over and I was in a state of like stillness where I couldn't get out of this moment of depression. I've dealt with depression before and I've moved out of that depression, but I just couldn't get out of this cycle. And so as I was talking to my therapist in the beginning of July, and I remember it like it was yesterday, it was our session. It was July 11th. I spoke to her on that Thursday and I told her, like, I literally broke down. I wasn't feeling well. I had an issue at work. I told my manager, like, I'm calling quits for the rest of the day. I left. It was the Wednesday. I left that I wasn't feeling good. So the Thursday I had therapy. I messaged my therapist and I said, hey, I'm going to come in the office to see you. We need to really talk. I told my boss, after my 11 o'clock meeting, I am no longer here for the day. I need a rest of the day off. I don't feel well. And I walked off. When 4 o'clock came, I was in my therapist's office. Mind you, I haven't seen my therapist in person frequently after the pandemic. I did see her a couple times, but because we live in two different cities, it'll take me a minute to get to her. So we do it online every other Thursday. So that particular Thursday, I got dressed. I drove an hour to see her. Got to her office. I did not have any makeup on. And I was in the saddest place of my life when I sat in her office. And mind you, I'm giving you timelines so you can understand. I've seen her since 2015. And this was not the person that she's not seen this depression before. So as I sat there, we talked, we went over some things, and she said to me, I need you to take a break. I need you to go back to work, apply for FMLA and short-term disability, talk to your doctor, and get that sorted out. And I need you to do it now. That was the best thing for me to do. On July 12th, which was the Friday, I emailed my doctor and I told her I met with my therapist and she says that I am severely depressed and she's recommending FMLA, and can we discuss that? Because I was dealing with my diabetes and trying to get my insulin levels under control. That also played a part in there. So I got up that morning, sent the message to my doctor. Then I went on to the website at work because I told my boss I wasn't coming to work that Friday. I wasn't going to log in. And I went in and I applied for FMLA. And when I got to the FMLA, the benefits people, they said to me, due to my circumstances, she's going to push my thing through right away. And that day, on July 12th, 2024, I took short-term disability for a month. I returned back to work in August. I cried the first 3 days. I slept. I didn't do anything. I didn't care to do anything. I did not have it in me anymore to do anything. And I did what I did. I slept. I took a break and I rested. And that's where we will move to the future. After going back to work and things started to calm down a little bit, even though the depression was still there was this shift that I needed to shift out of. So I'd already planned our New Year trip, our New Year's Eve trip. It was already planned. We were going to go to Vegas. So that was already planned. Also, we were going to New Orleans in October. That was already planned. So not October, the beginning of December. I knew that that was a planned trip. So I knew that those things were already pre-planned. So we knew that was going to happen regardless. Unfortunately, right, like the week before Thanksgiving, and not even a full week, my uncle passed away. My mother's youngest brother broke the chain of the 7, and he is the first out of the 7 to pass away. So my uncle passed away. My mom called me that day. I'm on the phone. I was excited for Christmas. I was excited to get ready to do Vlogmas and kind of just like do stuff. And my mom called and said, first my son called. He said, "Mom, Grandma's trying to call you. You're not answering." And I was in meetings, so I didn't really get the call. So I was like, "What's going on?" He told me my uncle was in the hospital. I don't know if my body knew to prepare because it was like deja vu. My mom called me when my grandma died. I had to break the news to everybody else because my mother couldn't do it. My mother was in Barbados when my grandma died. She was here in America when her brother died. And so my mom had to cancel her Thanksgiving trip because we were all going to be in Georgia for Thanksgiving. She was then going to head out to California where my son lived for Christmas. And my mom had to cancel her whole entire holiday trips, book a flight, and go home. I then now, 2 weeks later, I had now to go figure things out. So the way my country works, it's not like the funeral you pass today and tomorrow or 2 days later you can do the funeral. It takes time, got to get all that stuff done. So the week after I got back from New Orleans, I had to go to Barbados. So all of us had to go to Barbados. So that was an impromptu trip. A part of me did not want to stay here. Like in my soul, in my bones, I knew I needed my family. All families aren't close. We go through things. Mine is the same way. We go through situations but when it comes time for us to be together, we are together. And I left here, went home to Barbados for the weekend, helped my mother buried her brother. I read a passage at the funeral and I walked my mom out to go put her brother next to her mother and father. And it was good to be home. My sister was there. My brother was there. My son is not the type to want to be around death, so he doesn't want to attend funerals, and I respect his wishes because everyone grieves differently. That was my uncle, where he was the cool uncle, like you got the cool uncle. He was the cool uncle. That's the one you would smoke a spliff with. You know what I'm saying? You go home, you sit on the rock, and you burn a spliff. That was him. My son got to experience my uncle and hang out with him. And, as an adult, like my son got to be there in his life and him being in my son's life. So that was like the memories I could take away and have. And so it was good to be home. It felt good. It was a short trip, but it felt good to breathe the air of my island. It felt good to sit on the beach and just take in the ocean. And it's a tradition. Like when my grandma died, we all went to the beach right before the funeral, like a couple days before the funeral, and we all were together. And it was me, my sister, and my niece, and we did the same thing. We went to the beach, we washed ourselves in seawater, and we sat down and we reminisced and we talked and we cried. Up until that point, I did not cry because I had to hold it together for my mother. So that happened. I got back from Barbados and I had to go back into work because I didn't have a lot of days for my grieving, my bereavement. And then right after that, Big and I went out to Vegas for a whole week and rang in the new year. And while we were in Vegas, this is where everything kind of broke. The dam broke, and there was a lot of release that happened. I remember months prior, I told my therapist, because every year we come up with a word, what's my word for the year? And I'd already knew prior to November that my word for the year was going to be thrive in 2025. I wanted to thrive in 2025, and I knew what I needed to do in order to do that. I am tired of being in a survival mode. And last year broke me. I think a lot of us went through some things in 2024, and that was the hardest for me. That was the hardest year for me, mentally, emotionally, physically. Things changed. I lost 36 pounds. I've gotten my health under control. But my word for the year of 2025 is thrive. And I have a vision board, and I will share my vision board. It will pop up somewhere here of things that I want, that I've kind of curated for my vision board. But I wanted to say that in this video, you know how in January, everyone's like ready to put the fire out and do things. Well, for me, this January was different. Every year when I start the new year, I always rush in to get it done. Like, get the goals pointed out, get the the ideas flowing, get the motion going. But this year felt different. I got sick a couple weeks ago, and then I got better. And then this past weekend, I was sick again. So I'm kind of healing and getting a little bit better. But this January, so I had therapy on the 9th of January, and I said to her, when we got back from Vegas, all I wanted to do was rest. But it wasn't a physical rest only. I wanted to rest and recalibrate because 2024 was such a rough year for me mentally, all over. So when January started, I started realizing that as I was setting up my journals and getting my planners ready, this year I did something different. I added a memory keeping journal to my plethora of journals that I will be working in throughout the year. And so I've been journaling every day. I've been tapping into my emotions, and I've been present for myself. I'm showing up for myself in a different way than I normally do when I rest. And so I wrote some things here and like where I've been. So when it comes to resting my mind, like I said, I've been intentional with journaling, letting my thoughts be clear, because I've noticed as I look back, I would jot things down, but I wasn't tapping in completely to the feeling, right? And releasing. So I've been talking to myself and reflecting on certain things. And I've been asking myself, what truly matters to me this year? What really matters to me this year? And then I also ask myself, and these are journal prompts, how do I want to feel at the end of 2025? Another journal prompt that I started doing was, what habits and practices will bring me joy and fulfillment? So let's start with what truly matters to me this year. This year, what really matters to me is finding that balance between my career and myself. Knowing when I need to take a break and actually take the break. Not feeling obligated or like feeling like I need to do it because I'm scared or fearful of disappointing others, because I'm not doing any good to myself, because I'm pouring into others, but I'm not pouring into me. So this year, what matters to me is pouring into myself. How do I want to feel at the end of 2025? At the end of 2025, I would like to feel joyous, accomplished, and excited. That's how I want to feel at the end of 2025. What habits and practices will bring me joy and fulfillment? So I have in my planner, I separated my catch-all planner into 4 categories: lifestyle, wellness, fitness, and social media. And when I did that, I really wanted to like hone in on the aspect of my lifestyle and my wellness, right? More so than fitness, because fitness, I know I have that as a routine. So that's a habit. Drinking the water daily, making sure that I'm taking my fiber pills, making sure that I'm taking my medication, and doing my follow-ups on a regular routine with my endocrinologist, and making sure that all those things are getting done for the fitness aspect of it, right? My wellness is more so on the mental relationship I have with myself. Am I shedding the day away, or am I keeping it inside? And that's where the memory keeping journal is coming in, because as I sit every day after work and write down, take a moment for myself and journal the day, I journal how I feel, I journal things that I've been, like how just the emotions that I've been going through. And so there's a lot of things like the practices is being able to journal and get it out, where I'm not taking it in and going to bed and not releasing it. I am literally practicing release of the day. Something I've added recently that I haven't shared is every morning I get up. I saw this quote somewhere and I don't remember exactly where I saw it, but I saw this quote that said, God, get into my head before I do. And so now that is a new practice I've been doing in the morning. I say, God, get into my head before I do. And I feel like because I say that, I am starting to feel like I'm going with good intentions when I meet people, especially when it comes into play at work, because 90% of my stress comes from work. And so I go with good intentions. I have positive thoughts. My mindset has shifted from getting up in the morning in a negative headspace to be in a more positive, productive headspace. By slowing down for January, I've kind of given myself the clarity to align with the word that I've chosen for the year, which is thriving. How I'm resting my body. Most of what I'm doing is like making sure that I eat my meals, right? Making sure I get breakfast. I'm adding my protein in here, as much protein as I get. I am focusing on, making sure that my body is not tense because I carry my stress in my muscles and my joints. And so whenever I'm stressed or like feeling anxious and the anxiety overtakes, my body starts to ache. Like I get really bad joint pain. So I've been trying to like relax and slow down. And that's why I feel like January has really shown me that my body needs to listen. Like I need to listen to what my body needs. And that's what I've been doing. Like when I got sick last week, Thursday, I barely had a voice. I was at my desk and I came right here in this chair and I laid down, had my computer, and I had a meeting while I was here with like my voice was almost gone. And then Friday, when I woke up in bed and I didn't feel good, I literally texted my boss and said, hey, I'm staying in bed today. I do not feel good. And that was it. I didn't question it like I usually do. I didn't second guess, should I do this? I just did it because my body needed it. And I was happy to do that. How am I resting my spirit? I'm enjoying this phase of being still, and I'm finding joy in the simplest of moments. And here's where I'm finding joy in the simplest of moments. The animals keep me company. They come around, they're in the bed, they're on the, they're just near me. And then also, I binge watched some shows on Netflix. Like I did that. And then to make it even more joyous, I got a Nintendo Switch for my Christmas. It was something I wanted, and I told Big, and he bought that for me for Christmas. And so I buy the games myself. He bought the console. I buy the games because I just pick and choose what games I want. And I've been wrapped up in SpongeBob's Krusty Krab cook-off, bake-off, or whatever, and I'm cooking pancakes. And I'm stuck at level 19, but I'm enjoying it. I've also downloaded Dreamlight Valley, Disney Dreamlight Valley. I've made some friends from TikTok, and I've been enjoying that. So my spirit has been lifted. I feel like a kid. I feel like nostalgia because I am a Sims girl. I love to play Sims, but I tried not to do it because I would spend hours and hours and hours and hours on Sims. So no. But this has really been good to me. And I'm also learning balance where I know that at a certain time I cut it off so I don't overdo it because I want to enjoy it, but I don't want it to consume and make me forget everything. And what thriving is that I also need to learn balance. So that's been really good. I've been cooking. I've been reading more. I've been like listening to my books and, just like enjoying that. I've even been enjoying music. Overall, why resting matters for thriving is because the more I rest, the more clarity I get. And then the more I see how I'm connecting, that I'm building self-connection. And it's funny because I wrote in my journal for Sunday, self-connection, because that's how I was feeling. I was feeling very self-connected, and I needed that. I needed this so much. So in my 2025 journey of thriving, I took January to be the month for me to rest, recuperate, and just connect with myself. Because what happened in 2024, I ignored it, and I ignored it for too long. It was beating me. I would talk about it in therapy. I would do so much things, but I never really took the time to realize that I needed a break and I needed that FMLA. And if I wasn't forced to do it, I think I wouldn't be here talking to you guys about thriving in 2025. I think that I would be going through a lot more. Is the depression gone? No. Has it gotten better? Yes, it has. It really has. And I think what I did this month really did it for me. So I am here to share that with you. I hope you guys stay to this point. I know it's a long video, but I really needed to kind of reset this channel. And this is where I wanted to start the reset. I didn't want to just come on here and start posting like vlog content or unboxing or showing you guys all the things that I got or what I did over the past couple of weeks. I had to scrap Vlogmas, and it was okay. I didn't cry about it. I just realized like I couldn't do it. There was too much going on. And I think that was the beginning of the healing process of the depression, and kind of getting out of it was like being able to recognize when I can't do it or it's not possible. I will say in 2024, I didn't have to say no a lot. I just didn't do it. I just didn't do it. That's it. I didn't have to tell someone why I don't want to do it. I just did not show up for things I didn't want to show up for. So that's a good thing. But in 2025, I'm showing up for myself, and I'm going to thrive in the areas that I want to thrive in. And I'm going to bring you guys along on the journey. This is life in my 40s. I'm 46. I will be 47 in September. And before 50, I want to be able to be in a place where I am continuously thriving. And so this is the journey. This is life in the 40s, and Life with Syn is going to be me sharing a lot of candid, a little bit more. Maybe I'm not going to open up the bag and show you everything, but I will be talking to you more. And if this is the content that you want to see, I hope whoever is watching, is listening, can relate. And if you have any comments, share your comments in the comment section. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I will be posting this video pretty soon. And then right after that, we'll jump into the vlogs. And we'll see what comes up. We'll see what happens. January was not excited. No, it was. January was not where you guys will see the content that you used to see before. January, you will see me resting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will talk to you on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.